I remember being on boats ever since I was about 3, 4 years old. So I've grown up with them, and I'm kind of quite comfortable on boats.
It's like learning another language, I think, and you've already you grew up with the language, whereas I'm trying to learn it now, and it's not instinctual for me, whereas it is for you, isn't it? When you grow up with sailing, you have an inner confidence that I don't have. I don't have that, but equally, you have I feel very safe sailing with you because you have also caution. It's just lovely, isn't it? You just feel a sense of freedom that you don't get in any other transport, I think, because any other transport, any other way of moving with a boat, you are relying on things working, but if you've got it all right, then nature just speeds you on its way. It's very engaging, and particularly if you see some wildlife. Lovely to just watch them doing their thing, because that for them is their day-to-day life as well. But you never see that unless you're part of that journey.
You come into Daphne, and when she's afloat, it creaks and groans, and it's like alive, isn't it?
There's a quote in a book that I really like where it's Frank Carr, who does Sailing Barges, and he says something like, when the barges are being made, a little bit of the soul of all the workers enters the barge and becomes part of her being. And I think that's absolutely lovely. And for me, almost I've got to the point where I just trust her implicitly because of everything that she's been through. And when we came round, I think probably this is one of my favourite stories in a way, when we came round from Kent to Cornwall, we had a bit of a rough sail at one point, didn't we? And you said, not sure about the crew being okay, but Daphne was absolutely fine, and it kind of felt that she was almost looking after us. So she's got like a being and a soul and a presence that is not human, but it's a really special bond that you get, and I think that's probably my nicest feeling about her, is that she does feel like she takes you on board, gives you a big hug, and and everybody that comes on board feels that same love for her, really. And that it just, I don't know, it just is something quite special, isn't it? She's not just a boat, she's not just wood and metal, she's actually a living soul. Most sailing vessels, you have to crane the mast off, whereas sailing barges have the capacity just to lower it down via a pivot system, which is controlled by winches. So on most of them, you would lower them down during the winter, take all the sails off and do all the maintenance on the rigging, and then obviously after that maintenance is done, springtime, time to put it all back on, and then we raise the masts again with the windlass. No, a lot of people say, oh, that must be powered, but it's not. It's just manual labour just to get the mast. Getting the mast down's not so bad, fairly controllable. We did it with 4 of us, didn't we, the other day? But getting up, you've got a lot of weight because you've got a mast as well as all the sails and all the rope and blocks and tackle. So you've got to have at least 4 people on the windlass, probably 4 in standby when the first 4 collapse with exhaustion. And then you need plenty of people just to keep an eye out, just to see what's actually happening as the mast goes up, because things can get trapped and lines can get caught up and ropes can get twisted, etc., etc. But it's a fascinating process to watch. So dropping the mast for us would take half a day, putting the mast up probably a good part of a day, really, isn't it, with a good team. Re-rigging probably a couple of days, I would
most
say.
of the mast lowering is just getting stuff in place,
yeah,
so that you've got something to lower it down onto.
But putting it up is a bit longer, and you've got to take your time.
The Old Barge. A sailing barge has grown old and wise, with weather, wind and changing skies. Keelson, leeboard, sprit and mast, built for a purpose, built to last.
With her red-brown sails and well-tarred sides, she's part of the pattern of wind and tides. And when slick new ships hug the harbour wall, a sailing barge doesn't care at all.
She doesn't go in for chic or show. Her ways are steady and sure and slow.
A sailing barge isn't smart or new, but she finishes what she set out to do. She isn't varnished, she's not streamlined, but from stem to stern she's strong and kind. Not much would be wrong in the world today if human beings behaved that way.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely though. I just think, and you should say, and the creaking you can hear is Daphne.
It's Daphne. Exeter. Shh. Into
It's in the background with this. No, yeah, not together. No, that would be weird.
together.
No, well,
Much would be wrong in the world today if humans beings behave that way.
human beings.
Beings.
The other unique.
I'm going to have to do a blooper reel at the end.